Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. I want to start today by doing a shout out and say thank you very much for the commentary I've been getting back lately, not only on my videos, but over there on Facebook and, in the group meeting this morning, some of the feedback that I got, because I don't hide the fact that I'm still in my own awakening. As far as I'm concerned, the entire planet is still in their own awakening. Nobody is awakened, even the Dalai Lama, who probably is the most awakened being on the planet, is new energies are coming in for everybody, absolutely everybody. Nobody has been where we are today. No one. We have all these solar flares and planetary shifts and moving into the age of Aquarius. So some might be a little bit clearer and able to deal with the fluctuations a little bit better than others. Others might be just at the beginning stages of their awakening. And others still might not even be anywhere that looks remotely close to awakening, still participating in old ways of being and old ways of doing. And that's fine, because it's not my job to wake up the world. That's God's or Spirit's, the Creator, whatever word you want to use that best suits you. I described it in some recent writing as we are all coming in on waves, and you may not be on my wave, but we're all in the same ocean. So the ocean levels are rising. We are rising, is what's happening. We are ascending into a new level of consciousness. And because I myself am still in it, I haven't washed ashore yet, is at times challenging for me, because the old paradigm of duality and thinking was all about, somebody could place themselves in the position of expert or teacher or guide, guru, master. I've always kind of gone, to certain words, even though I am a trained Reiki master. I'm like, I'm not a master. Don't call me master. Even healer, because, my beliefs around healing come from my training, which I was very blessed to have incredible Reiki masters train me in Reiki and Scheme while I was in Ireland. And one of the first things that they said is, get your ego out of it, because you are not doing anything. You are a conduit. You are the flute for which God plays its music, which is the music of healing. And so the more clear you can be, the more you can stand in the role of healer, which basically means I'm going to help facilitate somebody else heal themselves. And now, through my spiritual teachings, I'm trying to facilitate others to heal themselves, to love themselves, to wake up to themselves, to become self-aware. And so I am just a conduit. Oops, and that's sliding off. I am just a conduit, the mouthpiece for which Spirit is oftentimes just talking through me. So I still have some of my own healing work to do. I think we all do. And balancing myself between student and master, or student and teacher, sometimes feels a little like wonky, because I'm not trying to stand in front of you with any pretense and notions that I'm all, hi, I'm going to talk about awakenings, and here's a fancy video, and it's all edited perfectly, and I speak and communicate wonderfully, and, that's not my jam. You may have noticed. My jam is to go, as Spirit kind of speaks through me sometimes, because I'm not prepared for any video I do. I just know the theme of where I'm going with it, and let Spirit guide me and guide the conversation where it needs to go. And in this, rocky place, because energetically, as I said, we're all in this ocean, and it feels a little bit rocky. At least, and I was saying this in this morning's meeting, at least we're not in tsunamis anymore, because that's what it felt like at the get-go. It felt like the awakening began, and I was in this great bliss phase, surfing the waves, going, this is awesome. I love this. I'm awake. I'm so woke. I never said that. Certain words are like, that's another word that makes me go, yeah. But I was very much, like, oh, I'm seeing things in a new perspective. I can do anything. I've got the power. She-Ra. And no, I'm not She-Ra, but anyways. And then it was like having, before there's a tsunami, all the water gets sucked away. All the life gets sucked away from you. And then there's this. And so that's what my awakening was like, was everything was sucked away from me. And then I was overloaded with everything. Oh my God, everything all at once. A total shit show extraordinaire. And now we're kind of free floating in the waves between up days of like, yeah, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, and then down days of like, oh geez, what am I doing? And doubt and confusion. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about what it's like to step into mission. And it won't be like this for everybody, but I'm going to speak, as I always do, from my own personal experience, because stepping into this mission, first of all, I didn't even know what my mission was. Like, you don't get a memo that says, oh, by the way, when you hit this age, you're going to do this. This is what you're called to do. That's not how it worked at all, because my mission worked that I was first called to do a lot of my own healing work. So, in my pre-awakening phase of what I call it, which was basically my whole life, I was out accumulating a whole bunch of information, trying to navigate through my own suffering and my own pains and my own traumas, and trying to figure out life in what felt like a foreign planet. And I didn't realize that was all preparatory work to leading me to doing this. And then when I had that wake-up call, and I lost the weight, and I healed my body of a lot of things. An old friend, yet another person I don't speak to, but what can I say? You lose a lot of people on an awakening. But an old friend had said to me, you should start a YouTube, because maybe you could help other people with their weight loss story, and share your tips and tools. So when I started the Unfuckening Movement, I thought that I was just gonna help a few people out with some health and wellness techniques, and to get them more into alignment with health. I had no idea I was on the precipice of having a massive awakening and going through a twin flame journey. Like, I'd heard the term before, and I'd heard the term Kundalini, but when these things happened to me, I wasn't like, oh, I'm searching for my twin flame, or I know this person is my twin flame. I had no knowledge of any of this. So the first point that I'm trying to make is you may not know what it is that you are destined to be doing. I certainly did not know at all. And then beyond that, when you do kind of find out, you may not know it all. You might even just get one puzzle piece at a time. So as I said, I started the Unfuckening Movement as, hey, here's some ways that I healed my body. And I was really still focused in the body scape. And then I moved, the more work I did in the body, the more the emotional stuff started coming out. And I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. I'm having all these trauma releases and I'm having all these emotional things come out. And so I'm going to have to navigate through this. And, well, I might as well share it because, maybe somebody else is going through these emotional releases. And then I moved, the more I released in the emotions, the more I realized that my mind was like insane and needed to be controlled. I'm still working through that, cultivating presence and being in the now and being and shutting down all of the cognitive distortions has been kind of where I've been for the last few years. And then all the spiritual stuff. That was like, I became more and more hypersensitive. I started experiencing like really odd things like telepathy and clairvoyance and claircognizance and clairaudience. I really didn't like that one. When I had some, it scared me. It scared me because of my age. I although I love all the Harry Potter books, I used to read them to my son when he was little. As our bedtime story. I wasn't raised to like believe half the stuff that's happening to me. So my ego is like, this is weird, this is different, I don't understand what's happening. I came from a place of fear where I think the younger generation, which would be what is known as the fourth wave, is much more prepared to deal with spiritual gifts coming online and an awakening because, they've been inundated through movies kind of normalizing gifts, the X-Men or, as I said, Harry Potter and other TV programs that are all about like witchcraft and, out there concepts and stuff. So I think they're a little bit more like open to the idea, where I was a lot more fearful, would have been the energy that I came in with. So as my mission progressed and things changed, because I was going through my own awakening, my own Kundalini, my own twin flame journey, more and more I've come on and I've shared what I'm going through in the real time, in the here and the now. Not I've 5 years ago was in an awakening and now I'm perfect. No, I'm still going through it, and as I go through it, I am learning. So I am again both a student of awakening as well as a teacher of awakening, because I take what I learn and I repackage it up into a video with hopefully some useful tools and make people feel less alone and give some people some tips. So, I understand. I'm coming from a place of understanding from experience, not I read a book or two and so I know what's what, because I don't think there's any book on the planet that could prepare you for the reality of what is a Kundalini awakening. And just because there's lots of people that profess to call themselves experts, my experience is that a lot of self-proclaimed experts, healers, teachers are not always teaching from experience, and therefore maybe without any ill intent, although I do believe that there are many with ill intent, because when it's all about the money and you're charging $1,000 for a counseling session, I have a little bit of a problem with that, because that isn't in alignment with my beliefs. And hey, everybody's entitled to do whatever the hell they want, really, at the end of the day, but I'm entitled to have an opinion about it. And my opinion about it is that moving into the age of Aquarius is all about rebuilding society and structures and ways of doing things and ways of being that are not the way we've already done things. You cannot build the new with the old. So if you're building the new with the old modalities and structures, they aren't going to be showing up in an energy of, community and compassion and care, which is what I've my whole life have been about. Like, I haven't fit very well into societal norms, because I just always felt like there was a better way of doing things. So me being me, and sitting in front of this camera and presenting my ideas and my tools, which not always are in alignment with other people's recommendations. In fact, oftentimes they're polar opposite to what others might recommend. And my approach to this whole thing, I do everything by donation because I talk to Spirit and that's what Spirit said to do. And my egoic self has fought me tooth and nail because, how are you going to survive? How are you going to live? And how are you going to do this? And how are you going to do that? And I still struggle myself with balancing doubt and faith. And mission, stepping into mission, into divine mission, is all about having faith. And it means trusting that what you're called to do, regardless of how abstract, abnormal, unique, different it is a thing that you're called to do, that you will be supported on that path. And it's not been an easy mission. I would hardly say that I'm rolling in the money or anything like that, but as long as I can continue to do what I do and survive, I'm going to continue to do what I do and survive. And it's not about because we have to at some point release the programming that we have around money and matrix, and how many likes we get or how many thises we get, and just have faith, because whatever mission you start up, it takes time, especially if it's a divinely guided mission. You're not going to get, at least I haven't, maybe somebody else will, I don't know what your experience is, but I can tell you from my experience that getting the numbers that I needed took years before I reached those matrix on the YouTube, and I'm still but a drop in the ocean compared to other people. I don't have millions of followers, and that's fine. I have to trust and come back to faith and come back to grounding myself in faith that the right people will receive my messages at the right time. And if my numbers aren't at the level that I would like them to be at, obviously, that's for divine purpose. It's for my own development while I still am learning and still am stepping into my own personal power, as well as it is divinely orchestrated that, if you're sending out messages to people about awakening and they haven't even woken up yet, then it's going to fall on deaf ears anyways. You could be standing right next to them with a megaphone and they're going to be like, oh, who's that loud person talking? Right? So divine time is way bigger than me and my demands. And I learned the hard way, because just once, I put out one of those paid ads. And what I got was a whole bunch of nasty. And I was like, oh, okay. When you fish with a big, broad net, you get everything. You get good and bad. And it just wasn't energetically worth it to me. And so I said, okay, God, you're going to have to direct this movement and make sure that the right people find these messages in the right time for their personal development. And lately, I have been getting back a lot of validation, and I'm so grateful for that, because, as I said, my own doubt has been like, what's happening? It's not growing. I'm in the void. Nothing's happening. And then a spurt will happen, and then nothing will happen again. And so, my own nerves have been tested and tested. My faith has been tested and tested. My trust in the divine. Over and over again, and that's purposeful. That in itself. So I'm learning, and when I'm learning, I'm teaching. It's going back and forth in both of these energies, and being humbled by spirit, so that I'm not in a spiritual ego as I stand in front of anybody saying, that I know all the answers. I don't. I know what I experience, and I have a lot of tools and training and strategies to help people that resonate with me. Not everybody's going to resonate with me, and that's okay. That's what being humble is. It's not about catching as many fish. It's catching enough fish to survive, which, it's been slow growing, but I suppose if you look, I'm still here, so I'm still surviving at the present moment in time. Although during Dark Night of the Soul, sometimes you question, like, oh my God. So yes, stepping into mission is very challenging in the new age. Because we are collapsing duality, and the more we get into non-duality, and which means not being at either side of the spectrum, but recognizing our place in both and neither. This central point of, I am both a student and a teacher. I am both a victim and a perpetrator. I've fucked up in my life, and I have to own that. And I am both, in feminine energy and masculine energy. I protect myself through this crazy awakening, and at the same time, I allow space. I let my masculine create space for my feminine to be vulnerable and show up in my vulnerability. So, she's safe to do that. She's safe to communicate her truth, even though she still feels very uncomfortable doing so, because she used to hide. She used to hide in the shadows. I would have spent the majority of my life in a more masculine energy of doing and the protector and strong. And what I am learning is that real strength, genuine strength, comes from being in the vulnerable and showing yourself as you truly are, and not beating yourself up for it. So the more I step into mission, and still not even seeing exactly, how it's going to all play out, and having faith that the right people will show up for me at the right time to help me build something. I have been tested. They talk about how Jesus was tested 40 days and 40 nights by the devil. And certainly it has felt like that for me, because there have been multiple times along this journey that I'm like, oh, this isn't getting anywhere. It's not growing. I'm not helping enough people. I'm not doing enough. I got to quit. I got to do something else. And, that's the temptation of, you're not a success, says the devil in my ear quite routinely. And so where I started this video was, saying thank you, because I really greatly appreciate how much support some of you have shown me, because it has been a very challenging path to walk. And then to talk about it, especially when you're doing so many things in the polar opposite energy of how you were raised and what you believed and what you think and how you feel. you know, I've on the feelingscape, I was very scared to be my authentic self, because I was so afraid of judgment and ridicule, and learning to create boundaries was really difficult, and I've had to do that along this path. You know, I've had to lay some foundations, because, you know, you open yourself up to the world. Some people are gonna, you know, try to take from you more than I can give, and so I've had to learn how to create healthy boundaries. I've had to learn how to say no. I've had to learn how to stand up for myself. I've had to learn how to communicate from truth, and from vulnerability, which definitely not my strong suit, because I would have always rather pretended that and masked that everything was a-okay, and I'm fine, nothing to see here, you know. Look at the bright colored hair, don't look at me. That was my my tool. And so to know that I am, in fact, making a difference in people's lives, and keeps me going. It keeps me going in the dark days, because, you know, even yesterday was a very particularly dark day, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't, and spirit devil in my ear going, you know, that's it, you've done enough. Do no more. And I was like, no. I want to be in mission. I do. I want to trust. I want to have faith. I want to believe in God. Fuck off. Not today, Satan. So be aware that when you step into mission, it's going to be challenging. It's going to make you face all of your fears and behave in ways that is opposite in almost every single regards to your comfort zone. It's going to require you to face all of your shadows and deal with those, because those things are stopping you, are like challengers that are blocking you from your own success. So that's why I call us spiritual warriors, because, you know, the warrior work is sitting with self and you know, calling it bullshit when there's bullshit. And if that bullshit is, you know, your mind saying to you that you're useless, or old programming saying that you're incapable, or inner child coming up and being terrified, you need to deal with each of those and deal with each of them properly. You know, you deal with the fears by negating them, but you deal with the inner child by comforting her, and you deal with the wounded selves by listening. Which goes against the mainstream and goes against the norm. So then you have to be prepared for the outside challengers. So you've dealt with the inside challengers and will continue, but then you have to deal with the outside challengers that look at you and say, you know, why are you doing what you're doing? You know, my family called me out as being deeply flawed and a failure because I'm airing my dirty laundry, and, you know, something along the lines of, not everyone needs to say everything on YouTube or something. And I was like, okay, you don't know what my visions are. You don't understand me. You've never been there for me. So I'm going to just know and create a healthy boundary. So you need to be prepared the more you step into mission and doing things opposite to the way that your family does things, opposite to the way that society does things, that you're going to have people that are like nasty to you, and they're nasty to you because you're doing something that they aren't willing to acknowledge, face in themselves. So you're exposing the flaws. And so I say, you know, the fact that they called me flawed, I think is hilarious, because I'm not saying I'm perfect. I certainly tried my whole life to be perfect, but I know that I have, I know that I'm human, so I do have flaws, but I don't have the flaw that would ever call somebody else's out for flaw. I don't have that flaw. So it's kind of a circular argument. If you're pointing the finger saying somebody is flawed, then you're pretty flawed, because that's a really shitty thing to do. So I don't know. I'd rather be nice myself then be mean. And if you don't, so others aren't going to appreciate, recognize, validate, approve of you when you are pulled more and more into your soul's mission, because your soul's mission is to shake shit up. Your soul's mission is to break cycles. Your soul's mission is to create new. So those that like the old aren't going to appreciate you for, changing paradigms. They're comfortable in the paradigms, and you're calling paradigms out. So there can be hostility, there can be negativity, there can be judgment, there can be criticisms, there can be all of those things. And so on this journey, I've had to learn the courage to be disliked, because that type of stuff used to, put me in a bawling my eyes out. And now I'm like, well, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. My bucket of how many fucks I have to give is getting like smaller and smaller every single time I purge, because every single time you purge, all those triggers are released. So people can't poke you the way they used to and get an emotional reaction, because they'll try to poke you and you'll be like, yeah, after what I've been through, I don't care. I don't care. I'll just do it on my own. I'll just keep on being on my own, doing my own thing, showing up as I'm called to, because I'm reporting to somebody higher than you. I'm reporting to God. That's who gave me this mission. That's who my employer is. So I'm going to trust that the mission that I've been given has a value that maybe others can't see. And if they can't see it, it's not my job to try to wake you up or educate you or fix you or heal you or indoctrinate you. That's not my job. That's not my job. They're on a different wave. Let God figure it out. They'll wake up in their own time, or they won't. I don't know what will happen to them. It's above my pay grade. So I just be like, okay, I'm going to just isolate myself and be me. And in the isolation, there's like, oh no, I shouldn't be isolated. I should be social. I should be this. I should be that. Again, we get into like the inner critic that's shooting you, because those are old programs and old paradigms that are coming up to be cleared. So the warrior work is all about facing all the programming, all of the everything, and allowing. I did a video this morning about, just sitting in it, allowing yourself to just sit in it, which goes against pretty much everything most people have ever been taught. Certainly it goes against everything I was taught. So being me means being radically authentic, and it's almost like stepping into the rebel archetype to say, I'm not going to conform to your rules, your expectations, your structures, your opinions. I'm not going to conform to those, because I'm here to break out of conformity and step into creating something altogether new. And I can't do that. I can't be new, and I can't create the new if I'm still holding on to the old and still doing the old patterning and everything that goes with that. So stepping into mission, it has its challenges. It's got its internal challengers, it's got its external challengers, and it has patience. Because the more you surrender to the divine, you'll realize that you're being led somewhere, and you don't know where, and you don't know how you'll get there, and you don't know who will show up. But people do, in fact, show up. It's amazing when they do. And it's amazing to go from an energy of being, it's miraculous, and it boggles my mind. So I'm still wavering in between, this is a miracle, and oh my God, what the hell is happening to me? As I get closer and closer into that midpoint, that center point, that centering of energy, of being okay, I'll ride each wave as it comes, knowing that whatever is meant to be will be in divine time, in divine way. Clearly, I was called into this mission for a reason. It gives meaning to my life. Sharing my stories over the last and my experiences over the last 3.5 years has given me meaning to all the shitty things that happened to me. Because I certainly can come from a place of greater understanding and greater compassion to others that have suffered because of my experiences, and me being able to show myself understanding and compassion as I transmuted through it. So it's allowed me to release and heal so dramatically, like quantum leaps, quantum jumps, that it is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. So if you're, wondering, what's my mission? I'm struggling. Well, that's your mission right now. Your first and foremost mission is to learn to love the fuck out of yourself. And that means loving all of yourself, loving the wounded aspects of self, loving the doubt, the confusion, the angst, the anxiety, the fear, all of those shadowy aspects, so that you bring yourself back into balance and harmony. And then as you do all of that work, you will be called to utilize the lessons that you've learned in some way. How? I can't say. It'll be unique for each and every person. Some might be called to be a teacher, to be a guide, and some might be called to be a light worker, which means just being in a certain environment where you're sharing love and compassion for people. I know one woman that's like a swimming instructor, and she absolutely adores her job. And I will mention in regards to her is she used to be terrified of swimming. So, see, you'll be called to do something oftentimes that you are absolutely terrified to do, and face your own fears to step into mission. And she's able to spread light with all the students that she teaches. So, like, that's an amazing and miraculous story to me. And you won't be given very many, you won't get an itinerary of how long it's going to take. And you won't be given a syllabus of all the materials you need to know. You have to trust that what you need to know, you will be guided to as you need to know it. As the saying goes, when you're ready, the teacher will appear. And you also need to be gentle with yourself when you go through cycles of being tested and cycles of doubt. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right way? I'm doing everything opposite to how society works. I'm trying to do something new. And I'm going to just keep plugging at it, even though it's my way is not like anybody else's. I'm not like anybody else. And I'm okay with that, because I love the fuck out of myself. I think I'm pretty friggin' awesome. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way, but I mean that in, like, I'm kind of in awe of, like, what I've accomplished and what I've healed and what I've survived, because I don't know how I did it, in the sense of I wouldn't have been able to do it just without spirit. I certainly would not have. Like, spirit's intervention has guided me through this all the way through. It's so the more I am humbled, and the more I am, like, in presence, and the more I am learning patience, and the more I am loving myself in the dark, and the more I am letting go, and the more I am releasing, and it's a continual process, the more I am convinced, beyond that shadow of doubt, that I am on the right path. Where it's leading, nobody knows. But I feel today I'm feeling fragile, but grateful, And in a certain amount of peace that whatever will be, will be. Mission. Yes. Union with mission. Yeah. Here it is. Here I am. I'm in service. How can I help you? That's where it is. If you would like my help and you would like to book a one-on-one with me, all of my services are by donation. And I book by 1, 2 hour, and 3 hour increments, depending on how deep a dive you want to go. Please send me off an email to justbebeing@gmail.com. If you would like to join the Spiritual Warriors support group Zoom meetings, where you can, get some, they're small little meetings, they're nice. I'm enjoying them a lot. Different things come up at different meetings, depends on who shows up for them. And it's a way for you to, ask some questions, seek some guidance. For $11.11 is the donation that I request. Thank you very much for that. If you would like to donate to the channel because you like the content that I'm providing, there's usually or always a link in the description below. And yes, the support group meetings are Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 11:11 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you. Just to let you know, I've got a new way I'm going to be handling that, which is, DM me if you want a link. I'm going to eventually get my website up and running, but I find building websites a little bit tricky for my brain. Yeah, I'm struggling to navigate through the wonderful world of Square. Maybe because my brain's not square. But until that time, please DM me for the link, because my autistic brain can't handle the, is anyone showing up? Is somebody going to show up? What's happening? I don't know, so knowing ahead of time that people have hey, I would like to show up for this. May I have the link? It helps me mentally prepare. So I hope you understand that. But yeah, just posting it in the not knowing was just one more element of that I don't need right now in my own spiritual awakening. So please DM me or email me or whatever if you're wanting the link to the next meetings. Get grounding. That's today's mission. Until I do my oracle read later on, I'm sending you all my absolute love. And with that all said, peace in.